Okay, a warm good evening, all of you. And I hope that all of you are happy after finishing the APSC Civil Services Prelims examination. Lot of questions are coming and regarding the cutoff marks, how was the level of the paper, whether it was tough, easy, or moderate paper, and how was the CSAT. All of you must have done your analysis. Along with that, I want to give you a brief analysis of myself and the team of Academy of Civil Services. As you have seen, the GS paper 1 was almost near to the UPSC level. And the team of Academy of Civil Services, and we are happy that we have given the classes to all the batches up to the UPSC level, and all our teachings, lessons, material, and analysis was the UPSC level. And as expected, APSC has given the questions this year up to the UPSC level. Second thing, CSAT paper was comparatively easier. That is why most of the students will not have any tension regarding the CSAT paper. Getting 66 out of 200 in such a CSAT paper is something possible for even a moderate candidate. Coming to the GS paper, firstly, let me give you an analysis of the Indian economy and the Assam economy questions first. Then we will discuss a little bit on modern Indian history questions. The first question I want to discuss, and the first question I am discussing with you is the question of budget. I have given you a class on the budget before the examination in the 5 days master class from 15 to 20. The second class I had given a class on the budget. In the budget, we discussed that the Saptarshi scheme and which of the following one are not priorities termed under the Saptarshi adopted in the union budget. The 7 important points the budget was focusing for achieving Amrit Kal. Amrit Kal means, and we are going to achieve the 100 years of independence in 2047. Then the plan for the last 25 years. We celebrated the 75 years of independence last year. Then the last 25 years, how to plan by improving Indian economy. There we discussed that in the Saptarshi, youth power was the, green growth was the, reaching last mile growth and development was the one which was not there. Question is, which of the following is not one of the? Population control was not one of. Then option A, population control, is the correct answer. As I told you earlier, the source for this answer, ACS budget class in the 5 days master class, and there was a ACS budget class and the ACS budget class PPT. You can see whatever I have shown you at present in the master class 2 PPT. You can see here in the budget, and the second PPT was focusing on Saptarshi, the 7 priorities of the budget. Coming back to our next question, and the next question which came in the examination was, the next question was regarding a direct economic question. We have studied in the monetary policy chapter regarding monetary policy committee, and we have studied in the taxation chapter regarding the GST council. Then question was regarding monetary policy committee. You have to match with definitely who is the chairperson of monetary policy committee. We studied that there is a 6-member monetary policy committee to decide the monetary policy rates of repo rate, reverse repo rate, marginal standing facility, base rate, etc. That is headed by the Reserve Bank of India's governor. Main thing is that when we study something, instead of simply studying monetary policy committee, 6 members are them, we have to study in detail. The today's question paper tells what should be the strategy of the preparation for the upcoming years. That should be the thorough understanding and proper analysis of each chapter, like a UPSC aspirant is studying. In my opinion, the era of memorizing lot of facts and taking out the memory and showing your memory power in the examination is gone. This is the time you should have analysis of each and every concept, every chapter with you, and you should be able to take it out and analyze in each question and give. Then From now, in my opinion, preparation becomes more entertaining, and preparation under a proper guidance will help you easily to qualify the examination in future, like the UPSC examination. Coming to GST Council, we have studied that in GST Council, all state finance ministers are there as members. The Union Minister of State for Revenue is the member representing central government. Union Minister of Finance is the chairperson. Then coming to GST Council, Union Minister of Finance, 2. Then GST Council, we can join with 2, Monetary Policy Committee with RBI Governor. Niti Aayog, definitely everybody knows that Prime Minister of India is the chairperson. Then only one is left for Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs. Union Home Minister is the presiding officer. This one also we have covered in the material of the ACS material. I'm not wasting the time by showing everything from the material. Next one, a beautiful conceptual question from Indian economy. We have studied, when I took the class, I told you and the one beautiful comparison between GDP and GNP. What is GDP? By the name itself, it mentions it is gross domestic product. The total value of goods and services produced within the geographic territory of India in one financial year. The GNP, gross national product, that means the total value of goods and services produced by Indian citizens anywhere in any part of the globe. Then what is added into GNP? And into GNP, we are adding the net income from abroad. Now, you might be remembering, the students in Academy of Civil Services, you must be remembering, I told you that India's GDP is higher than GNP. Why? We discussed in the class. India's GDP is higher than GNP because the net income from abroad into India is less. That means many foreigners, many Indians are working abroad and they are sending money to India. At the same time, there are large number of foreign companies in India. They are sending money outside India from here to foreign country. Then when we are looking into the money coming into India from abroad and the money going out of India from India to any foreign country, the money coming in is less, going out is high. That is called as the income earned from abroad is negative. When the income earned from abroad is negative, GDP will be greater than GNP. We have discussed that in the case of India, GDP is greater than GNP. Then if you know that in the case of India, GDP is greater than GNP, definitely the statement 1 becomes wrong. GNP is always higher than GDP. No, because in Indian case itself, GDP is higher than GNP or opposite case, then always. Another thing we discussed in the class, whenever the terms like always, ever, entire comes in a question, 99.99% that statement will be wrong. That was a tips and tricks we discussed and regarding the UPSC preparation in the UPSC question paper. These terms usually used to come. Now see that APSC has also adopted the same pattern of the questions, asking the extreme terms. If GDP is greater than GNP, second statement is correct. Then B and 2, only 2 is the correct answer. Next one. In the development chapter, we have discussed what is development, what is growth and development. In the chapter on growth and development, I'm not mentioning everything, and you can see that whatever questions came from an ACS material I have mentioned here, and what are the question numbers from series A, series B, and series C and D. Also, you can see here this question when you analyze it. Development programs undertaken in India are always oriented towards economic growth along with the social justice. Then growth along with social justice, we call it as the development. Then why? Indian economy is afflicted with poverty, unemployment, and inequalities. Here both are correct. And second one, R is the correct explanation of A. Option A is the correct answer. Next one, national education policy. It was all current affairs. Last year, APSC prelims also, we had prepared the national education policy. See, here you can easily get the answer. Look into the statement 1. To increase the public investment on education up to 10% of the GDP by 2030. See, already we are only 4%, 5% investments were there on the education in the public investment or in the budget. This year also you can see 6% is the education. If it was 10%, this year also 10% in the budget should have been given. That is why in the national education policy's aim is to increase public investment on education to 6% of the GDP. Then the statement 1 is wrong. If 1 is wrong, can eliminate option. Which of the following? Select the correct answer using the codes given below. So not correct. Question is, which of the following? This is also a trick UPSC and earlier used to use. And I also got confused. And which of the following is not correct? And in the objectives of national education policy, this is 6%. If you know that 1 is not correct, to increase the gross enrollment ratio. And anyway, one of the most important aim is that increasing the enrollment ratio 50%. To create provision of academic bank credit, that is also correct. And if you know that, and 1 is the wrong, then only 1 is the correct answer. I think option C is only 2, not only 1. There is a typing error in this one. Going into the next question. Which of the following with regard to Arundoi scheme? I have taken this in the class of Assam economy. When I was teaching you the Assam economy and Assam current affairs, Assam government schemes I had taken in the last class of Indian economy. I had taken an Assam economy class. There I told that it was a scheme of giving 1,250 rupees for the BPL families. By getting that simple fact, you can answer this question. It envisages poverty alleviation. The aim of this program is to eradicate poverty. It envisages socio-economic inclusion of financially vulnerable families, only the BPL poor families, including them in the financial activities. It aims to generate employment through intermittent financial assistance, no aim, because giving simply money is the Arundoi scheme, and it provides minimum cash flow to unprivileged families. That is also correct. Then option D, and 1, 2, and 4 is the correct answer. Next one, which of the following are identified as focus areas of Nidhi Forum for Northeast India? And you can see here, and most important, if wheat is not much cultivated in Northeast India, you can eliminate option B. And tea, tourism, agar, rubber and honey. Rubber and honey is not much cultivated. Rubber is there in Tripura, but rubber, 95% of rubber is cultivated in the state of Kerala. By that, we can eliminate this option. And dairy and tea, bamboo, pisciculture, dairy and rubber. Here also rubber comes. Rubber, 90% of rubber is cultivated outside the Northeast India. Then correct option will be bamboo is there in Northeast, dairy is there, pisciculture, the fishing is there, and tea is there, tourism is there. Then all items coming, and which is popularly found, the main dominant economic activities in the northeastern states are these 5: bamboo, dairy, pisciculture, tea, and tourism. With that logic, we can get the answer. Option A is the correct answer for this question. Next one. Consider the statements about tea in Assam. Tea, I had taken the class on the tea cultivation in the Assam economy. I had taken your class on the tea cultivation in my PPT of Assam economy. And in my PPT of Assam economy, we can get the tea. See the tea industry. And in the tea industry, the first point, the industries of Assam. And earlier we discussed the Assam government schemes. I have given you their Arundoi scheme. And if you are going back to the industries of Assam, and terracotta industry, we had discussed bell metal industry, fire clay industry, and the first industry I discussed with you in the class was the tea industry. In the tea industry, see that the first point was that Assam tea was found first by Robert Bruce. Then the first statement here you can see Roos Brothers. And the first statement you can see in the question paper also. And this question you can see that, and Bruce Brothers are considered to be the pioneers of Assam tea. Then that statement was correct. Bruce Brothers are considered to be the pioneers of Assam tea. And then the statement 2 is correct. By getting to statement 2 is correct, you can eliminate option B. You can eliminate option D also. Next one, and eliminate option C also only one. Then by eliminating all these options, only one option comes A. Second one, then A 1 and 2 only is the correct, because you can eliminate wherever option 2 is not there. 1 and 3 we eliminated, and 1 we eliminated. D definitely we cannot eliminate, and at this stage 1, 2 and 3, and these options A and D will be confusing. Second thing, and in the same PPT of Assam economy, you can see that Assam company in Nazira was established in 1839. The first tea company in Assam was Assam company in Nazira, established in 1839. Here you can see in the question, the same statement came in the question, and it was a wrong statement. Assam company was founded in 1835. Then Assam company was founded in 1835 is wrong. It was in 1839. By getting 2, 3 is wrong, you can eliminate this option. Then only one option is left, only 1 and 2. The statement Singfos were already familiar with the tea. I was also not much aware of this point. Anyway, we got this point. The Singfos tribes were aware of the tea cultivation even before the British introduced the tea. Next one, few questions we are discussing from the international organizations as a part of economy, and I had taken you in the international organizations class as well. First question was regarding WEF, World Economic Forum. In the class, we have discussed in detail regarding the World Economic Forum and the summit of the World Economic Forum in Davos hill station of the Alps mountain in Switzerland every year, because Switzerland is the headquarters of the World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum and is a non-profit organization established by Squash Club and Club Squash, and in as a collaboration of the government and private sector. In Davos summit, more than 2,500 participants used to participate. Among these participants, the head of the states will be there, and the different business persons will be there, and then head of the states and large number of business people. It is a public-private cooperation program. Another thing is an independent. World Economic Forum is organized as an independent NGO. We discussed in the class, not connected to any other international organization. Then by that information, you can eliminate WEF is a platform under IMF, we can eliminate. WEF is an independent department of the World Bank, we can eliminate, because not connected to IMF, not connected to World Bank. Another thing, we discussed in detail the chapters of IMF and World Bank. In the IMF and World Bank chapters, we have not studied that anything related to World Economic Forum. With that information, you can eliminate option 1 and 2. Eliminating option 1 and 2, you are eliminating all the 3 options except C. Then 3 and 4, C is the correct answer. Easily with one information. And Geneva is the headquarters. We have mentioned in the material I have mentioned in the class as well. An organization for public-private cooperation, because I told you in the class that in Davos summit of WEF, 2,500 participants will be there from political sphere and the business groups. Next one, G20. When you were discussing the question, all the faculties were telling that we have discussed the G20 in the class. G20, 2 questions were this year G20 questions must come. G20, this question, you can easily get the answer by understanding what is G20. G20, we discussed that G20 is the 19 countries plus European Union. That is the most powerful 20 economies of the world. Taking that logic, the most powerful 20 economies of the world, G20 became active when in 2008, the Lehman Brothers international economic crisis was there. Again, it became active when COVID-19 economic crisis came. Then the 20 countries and the most powerful 20 economies in the world sitting together and discussing when there is a crisis. Definitely economically powerful, we can see here. And by looking into Australia, Canada, Saudi Arabia, economically powerful countries. Senegal is an African country. Mexico and Italy. Senegal is not a economically powerful country. Then we can eliminate that option. United States, Turkey, Argentina, economically powerful countries, Peru, Congo, and this African country of Congo, and South Africa is powerful, but Peru and the South American country and Congo are not much powerful countries. Then correct answer is A and C. That is only 1 and 3 should be, not B. I think the correct answer should be C, and only 1, sorry, 1 and this is not 1, 2, this is 1 and 3. The option, there's a typing error. Correct answer should be 1 and 3, and it should be 1 and 3, or A and C should be the correct answer. Then Australia and this is 1, Australia and United States, 1 and 3 will be, this is not typing error, not 1 and 2, 1 and 3. Next one. And one earth, one family, one future. You must have seen the advertisement throughout Assam regarding the G20. Everywhere this motto was also written. That is the motto of the G20 New Delhi Summit 2023. We had covered in our current affairs class, and most of the teachers must have discussed with you inside the daily classroom as well. Coming to modern India. Modern India. In the modern India, this question regarding it was a part of Assam history. And consider the following events about the year 1926 in the context of Assam. And one question, one statement was related to modern India annual summit session of the AICC. All India Congress Committee was held in Indian National Congress, and 1926 session was held in Pandu in Guwahati. That we have discussed. In that session, I told you that Mahatma Gandhi presented a resolution paying homage to famous social reformer Swami Shraddhananda. Swami Shraddhananda was assassinated by a Muslim fanatic in 1925. Then Swami Shraddhananda was the leader of Arya Samaj. The next session of INC was in 1926 Guwahati session. In 1926 session, Mahatma Gandhi presented a tributary resolution of Swami Shraddhananda. And I discussed in the class, I hope you all the students will be remembering 1926, that session, Mahatma Gandhi started the tributary resolution by making the statement, by assassinating Swami Shraddhananda, and Swami Shraddhananda will live forever and the murderer will die forever. That was the starting statement, the beginning statement of Mahatma Gandhi in 1926, that session. Then this part of this question, annual session of INC in Pandu, all these statements were correct, but the annual session of INC at Pandu was the correct statement. That information we had discussed in the modern Indian history class. Next one, the next question. Find the correct chronology of the following governor generals. It was a tough question because they have given very less known governor generals. And the John Macpherson, he was only for 1 year when in 1785, and Warren Hastings was dismissed as Governor General of Bengal due to corruption until Cornwallis came. For a small period of time, less than 1 year, Sir John Macpherson was the Governor General of Bengal. And as a temporary, not exactly full governor, he was a caretaker Governor General, but still, majority of this portion, in the end of our modern India material, we had a discussion on all governor generals and their contribution. By going through that, and there is a possibility to get the answer, but still it was a very tough question. They have given very unknown and very rarely known governor generals. All of us will be familiar with the William Bentinck Canning, and will be familiar with the Lytton, and we are familiar with the Ripon. All these governor generals are popular governor generals. The governor generals here given and Allude Clark and the Earl of Mornington. It was also another name of Arthur Wellesley. Exactly the person we are familiar with this person as Arthur Wellesley, but they have given another name of Arthur Wellesley. And I agree that it was a tough question and very tough to do, and without any proper and microscopic learning, it is very tough to get the answer for this question. Next one, based on year, but most of the years, we discussed this question in the pre-Congress political organization. In the pre-Congress, before Congress, which were the political organizations, and in the PPT of the class, and I remember I had mentioned, but all these years were nearby years because Madras Mahajana Sabha was the most famous organization in Madras, and the East India Association in London was the first political organization of India outside India established by Dadabhai Naoroji, and Bombay Association was the most famous political organization in Bombay, and Indian Association was the most active political organization before Indian National Congress by Surendranath Banerjee, and option D was the correct answer for this question. Next one. Arrange the following social reforms by British in the chronological order. At least if you are, all these we have discussed. Other than abolition of sati, everything has been discussed in the class and the material. Hindu Widow Remarriage Act, everybody knows that Hindu Widow Remarriage Act was passed by Dalhousie. Dalhousie was there as viceroy till 1856. In 1856, Canning came. Before Canning comes, Dalhousie has passed this act in 1856. Next one, these two, regulation against infanticide, regulation against sati, these two were done by William Bentinck. One thing is there, and if you are confused that which one was done first, whether sati banning was done first by William Bentinck or female infanticide banning was done first by William Bentinck, one thing we can understand that sati is also the habit of killing the female infant or small children is also there. Logically, one person will ban which one first? Female infanticide only. That is why we can take the female infanticide coming first. Anyway, no option abolition of slavery coming first. Then these two should come. If this comes first, this should be second. Then 1 and 2, and then 4 and 3, abortion of slavery happened. Then Hindu Widow Remarriage Act happened. Then option B, 1, 2, 4, and 3 is the correct answer option for this question. Next one, current affairs. And hope you remember in the very first class, when I started the special class, 90 days booster course for the prelims examination, when we started the focusing prelims 90 days class, the very first day I had discussed with you all the details of the World Cup Football 2022. The motivation for me to discuss that was last year APSC asked regarding that in which place, which country, the 2022 World Cup football is going to happen. Then Qatar was the answer. This year, definitely Qatar World Cup football finished, then they might ask something related to Qatar World Cup football. And I had discussed with you and regarding who got the golden boot and the highest number of goals was Kylian Mbappe, the captain of the French team. And next one, golden ball, the best player award was given to Lionel Messi, the Argentina's captain. And these two statements were correct. Both 2 and 3 are correct is the correct answer. By this, I'm finishing my portion. Now, Asif sir will take the geography questions. I request him to continue with the geography question.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome again to Academy of Civil Services. And yes, we are really happy today. Not only that most of the aspirants are able to answer the questions in a better way. And we know that this year the examination pattern was a bit tougher, but what we can say is the way we used to give in our academy, starting from the very basics, starting from the NCERT 6th standard itself, we were giving the classes for all our aspirants. And trust me, that really worked for this time. Yes, last year it was a bit different. Most of the questions we have seen it in a factual way, but this year we can see that a candidate who has prepared himself from the very basics, and yes, who has invested his time in understanding each and every subject in detail. Of course, you're going to get more than 100 or 110 as your marks for the General Studies Paper 1. So, of course, there is a question everywhere. I'm getting more than 30, 40, 50 calls. I don't know how many calls I got today asking me what will be the cutoff. Of course, everybody has this anxiety within ourselves, what will be the cutoff. But let me tell you, I think that the cutoff will be around 90 to 85 because most of the candidates who appeared this exam do not prepare it for a year or more than a year. Of course, you guys used to prepare it for 4, 3, 5, 6 months, and then we appear for the examination. But that is a mistake. So next time, if you feel that this year you're not going to clear this examination, then please prepare it from the very basics. And yes, try to invest maximum time so that you complete all the subjects. So anyway, for me, I'm going to discuss the geography questions here, and let me analyze the questions. Yes, geography questions was all about the map, all about the globe, all about the atlas. So when we start a class, of course, I used to urge our students that without a globe and without the atlas, it is impossible to go ahead with the subject geography. So if we see this first question, with respect to the location sequence of the rivers, the given river, mountain passes, mountain peaks, which of the following sequences is correct? So my dear, there is no concept to learn this particular topic or this particular question. Of course, we have to understand the atlas. We have to go through the world map. So we can see here the sources which I have given in my class of geography was the Indian physical structure. I can show you I can share the PPT regarding this particular topic where you can learn all the passes. So see, this is my class PPT. So here you can learn all the passes. We'll discuss about all the passes here. Then of course, we are going to discuss about the mountains. Here we will also discuss about the rivers which are going through the northern part of India, which are going through the peninsular India, the rivers which are flowing through the eastern part of India. So this way, we used to divide the river system of India. We used to divide the mountains of India, the Himalaya of India, and that you don't need to go with some particular books. If you open the atlas, if you go through the atlas in a chronological order, of course, you will be able to get the answer. Okay, so the next question I'm going to put here is, so here we can see all the three options like Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj. These are a part of the rivers which are a part of the Indus river system. And then the Jojila Pass, Shipkila Pass, Jepla Pass. These are all the important passes which we can see in the Himalaya. Then we have the hills like Mahabaleshwar, Doda Beta, Annamudi. So Doda Beta, this is the highest peak, which we have already discussed in our class, right? Doda Beta is the highest peak of the Nilgiri Hills. Annamudi is the highest peak of the Annamalai Hills in the southern part of India, in the peninsular block, right? So this way, when you go ahead with the content, of course, answers will be there for you. Then the next question we can see here, with reference to the tribes of Northeast India, which of the following statement is correct? Well, these are a part of the human geography, or we can say the social geography. So yes, when we study geography, we used to divide geography into three parts, right? The physical geography, which is a part of everything which we see in front of our eyes. Then we study about social geography or human geography. So here, this particular question came from human geography. So here in human geography, we are going to talk about sex ratio, the infant mortality rate, population census. We are going to discuss about the tribes which are found in different parts of India, as well as their settlement, how they're surviving or how they're settling down in different parts of India, whether they might be settling in the forest, they might be settling in the mountains, wherever in India or across the world. So these are all a part of human geography. So here, the answer will be only 1 and 2 because the Rengas are mainly concentrated in Mizoram. No, that is not correct. Rather, the Rengas are mainly concentrated in Agartala, right? So here only 1 and 2 is correct. Then we can see the next question. So above you can see series A 65, series B 93, series C 16. What does it mean? It means that those students, if you have the series C, then this particular question will be the question number 16 in your series C. So if you have the series B in your hand, then this particular question will be the question number 93 for series B. So see this question again. Match the rivers with the places on their banks in Assam. So the sources, of course, Assam map or the atlas. Obviously, these things are there in our material, but other than the material, let me show you the map, how we used to discuss in our class. So if you go back in the classes and you see this PPT, so here in this map itself, you will learn about the boundaries, state boundaries, national boundaries, international boundaries. We'll come to this particular topic later, but first let me show you the rivers here. So see how we have understood the rivers. So here we have a detail of the Brahmaputra river system, and let me go back to the question once again and let me see. Yes, it is asking that these rivers are related to which place or to which cities or which town. So of course, if you are from Assam, so you all know that Barak River is related to the Barak Valley, right? That is 100% it will be Silchar. So A is 3. So among these options, we have to find where A is 3. So if we see A is 4 here, A is 4, A is 3, and here option D, A is 3. So of course, we can eliminate A and B, and we can keep the option. We can keep the option C and D, because here we can see A is not related to Silchar, that is 3, and in option B also A is not related to 3. So this one and this one we can eliminate. Then we can see Barak, Silchar, and Dhansiri. Of course, we all know Dhansiri River is related to Golaghat, right? So if you know at least 2 rivers where they are flowing, you will easily get the answer. So here the answer is A 3, B 4, C 1, D 2. The next we can see the next question: with reference to location of some countries, which of the following statement is correct? So see, this particular question directly relates with the globe. So if you have a globe in your hand, and if you might have a globe in your hand, of course, you might have bought it in your school days, right? But now we used to neglect it. But you need to read this globe. So if you read this globe properly, and if you see where the equator is passing by, because in our classes, we used to tell that all the important longitude and latitude is a must. Latitude, the largest latitude will be the equator. See all the countries which is touching the equator. Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer, which are the places. International date line, prime meridian, which are the places which are connecting those lines. Yes, this way we learn the globe. So if you learn the globe properly, then you will get the answer. So here answer is only 2 and 3. Why 1 is not correct? Because Philippines is not passing through, or the equator is not passing through Philippines. Philippines is a bit above the equator. So therefore, statement 1 will be wrong. And here only 2 and 3 is correct. Fine. Next, let's go to the next question. With reference to National Highway of India, which of the following statement is correct? Again, among the Indian state, Maharashtra occupies the top position in terms of total length of national highways. Sometimes you might not be aware of this particular statement, but if you know that from Srinagar to Kanyakumari, everybody knows that this is the longest highway, right? So from Srinagar to Kanyakumari, NH42, this is the longest highway. So this is correct. Then NH27, we all know it is from east to west, that is from Gujarat or Porbandar to Silchar in Assam, or towards eastern side, right? So this is the longest highway east to west, that is National Highway 27. So 2 and 3 is 100% correct. So if 2 and 3 is correct, we can see that 2 is not mentioned in C. So we can eliminate C. 2 is not mentioned in B. So we can eliminate B. Only 1 here, 2 and 3 is not present. So we can eliminate A. Then obviously, if you are not aware of the statement 1, that is which state has the largest amount of national highways, then here we can choose as the option D, 1, 2, and 3. All the statements are correct. So this is called the elimination method. So this way, my dear aspirant, there are more than 10 to 15 tips and tricks which we used to discuss in our class. So if you are not aware of the content, then of course with the tips and tricks, you will be able to get the right answer. That I can assure you. The next we can see here with reference to railway networks in Assam. So of course, this way, let me go back to the national highways. Let me show you how we used to prepare our material. So if we go to our materials, so we can see that in our material. So let me go back. Yes. So this is our official website. So inside our official website, I have this material. So here we can show you iron and steel industry, cotton and textile industries, then national highways. So see, already we have given it in our study material. Srinagar to Kanyakumari, what is the distance? 3745. Then Porbandar to Silchar in page number 135. We have this particular chart where we are showing the national highways. Not only that, we used to give the inland waterways of India, not this year. In the mains itself, I'm sure that inland waterways will be a very, very important topic for the APSC, because the government is giving full 100% concentration to make the waterways a very, very important source of economy development in the state, right? So this is our study material. Let's go back again. So the next topic I want to share with you all, the next question I want to share with you all is the railway. So here also, in case of railway, highway, waterway, these are very important topics we used to discuss in the class. So we can see here all the three statements are correct. So if you read them, you will know these are facts. So all the three statements are correct here. Next, we can see with reference to the tributaries of the Brahmaputra and Barak rivers in Assam, which of the following is correct? So of course, when you read the Brahmaputra river system, you must be aware of only 4 rivers. These are important 4 rivers which are in the north bank or the right bank, right? So the north bank tributaries, Subansiri, Jiabhorali, Dikho, Manas. But the trick is here. We can say Subansiri, Manas, Kameng, and Santosh. These are the important right bank or north bank tributary. But Dikho is not the north bank or right bank. This is the left bank or the south bank tributary of Brahmaputra. So therefore, here we can delete the statement 1. So the left option is only 2. So here the right answer will be Buridihing, Bhugdoi, Kopili, Krishnai, south bank tributaries of Brahmaputra. And Dhaleshwari, Raidak, Longai, Jiri are tributaries of Barak. Here, Dhaleshwari is not a tributary of Barak. Yes, Dhaleshwari is a river which is connecting with the Jamuna river in Bangladesh, not in Indian territory. So therefore, statement 3 is also not correct. So only correct statement here is statement number 2. So only 2 is correct. Fine. Next, we can see here, with respect to different ethnic groups, as well, I told you about the social and human geography. So we have to discuss about the tribes of all the tribes which are available in the Northeast. So these are available everywhere in any sources. So here the statement 1 is wrong, because Boro is not the largest tribe, rather Thados is the largest tribe in Assam. Okay. Then here Baikho is a traditional festival of the Karbis, not of the Karbis, but of the Rabha community. So here the correct statement are only 2 and 3. So we can give the right statement as 2 and 3, right? Fine. The next we can see, with reference to geopolitical situation of selected districts of Assam, which of the following statement is correct? Now let's go back to the map and let us see. All BTR districts share border with Bhutan. Kachar district, yeah, this is correct. All BTR districts share border with Bhutan. Yes, all the districts starting from Karimganj and Dhubri, all these places are sharing with, the BTR districts which are present here. If we see the Assam map here, we can see here. Let's go to the map again and let's see this part. Yes, I'm just taking some time here. So see here, Kokrajhar, Chirang, then Baksa, Udalguri. These are all BTR districts, right? And these are connected with the Bhutan, as we can see here. So next, the question was, so that statement is correct. So with the Assam map or the boundary map, we will be able to get the right answer. Then next, if we see the next statement, Kachar district shares border with the state of Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Meghalaya. So well, if you see the map again, so see how much map is important and how you can get the question. So this is the Kachar district. Yes, Kachar. So yes, it is sharing borders with Meghalaya, with Bangladesh, with Manipur, yes, with Mizoram, but not with Tripura. So therefore, with the map itself, we are able to get the right answer. So here, this statement is wrong. If this is wrong, then left is 3 and 1 and 3 is the correct answer. Fine. Next, we can see arrange the following places in ascending order of local acceleration due to gravity. Now, this is concept. So these are concepts that we have to understand. So in our class, when we discuss about the shape of Earth, why the shape of Earth is not round, it is oblate shape, right? We all know that the shape of the earth is not round, but in the middle it is bulge out, and in the top it is flattened. And therefore, here it is asking in ascending order. That means from bottom to top. From bottom to top, here the first low gravity place will be the center of the earth, because we all know that there is a magnetic pole. So if there is a magnetic pole, one side there will be positive, one side there will be negative. So in the middle, the gravity will be 0. So therefore, the center of the earth, the gravity is 0. So here we can see the right answer as 3, then 2, then 4, and then 1. Because equatorial regions of the earth's surface at the sea level, here in the middle, the gravity is less than the gravity which is present in the polar regions, because the polar regions are flat, right? This is flat. Both the regions are near to the positive phase and negative phase of the magnet. So these are all concepts that you will understand when we discuss the shape of the earth. Then when dense clouds are not able to cause rain because of the rising movement of extremely hot current of air, it leads to, well, cloudburst, it relates to the orographic lift. Orographic lift in the mountains, when these clouds, when these winds are moving above, then they're forming the clouds. There the cloudburst happens, not due to the dense clouds. Then creation of rain shadow area. What is rain shadow area? In our class of geography, we used to discuss that there are two sides of a mountain. This is called the windward side, yes, and this is called the leeward side. So the leeward side, we call it as the rain shadow region. But here in this particular question, it is talking about the clouds, not the wind, right? So cyclone is related to atmospheric moisture. So the left answer here will be thunderstorm, because the clouds, the large clouds which are forming in the sky, when they get drenched, when they come to a saturated point, when they're not able to give the rain, then the charged particles which are inside the large clouds, the charged particles will create the lightning. And when they create the lightning, after that, they will create the thunder. And when they create the thunder, after that, the heavy amount of rainfall we will be able to see. So here the answer will be thunderstorm, right? And then finally, we have two more questions. Assam shares the borders. Again, the question from the Assam map. Already I have shown you the Assam map, the international border and the national state border. So here the Sikkim, right? Sikkim is not connected with Assam. Sikkim is connected with West Bengal. So therefore, Manipur, Tripura, West Bengal, these all are connected with Assam. And only Sikkim is not connected. So 1, 2, and 3, option C is correct. Consider the following statements about Mauna Loa. So yes, this is a part of world map. Also, this is a part of the chapter volcanoes. So we will discuss about different types of volcanoes around the world. In India, we have two major types of volcano, the Barren Island and the Narcondam Island, right? Barren is an active volcano. Narcondam is a dormant volcano. So anyway, Mauna Loa, it is associated with volcanic eruption. And yes, it is located in the Hawaii Islands. So if you want to see the world map, how we used to discuss it in our class, so see this. This is the world map. So we have different things in the world map. We discuss about the grasslands, we discuss about the deserts, and we discuss about the volcanoes. In this chapter itself, we have already discussed about the volcanoes. So we can show you the Mauna Loa, which is present here in the Hawaii Islands. So these are the things how we used to understand the preparation, how we used to prepare for each and every subject. So my dear aspirant, what I want you all to understand with this video is that the era of understanding or by hurting the facts is gone. Now APSC is into a level of UPSC. We are competing in a very national level quality of question and answers. So therefore, Academy of Civil Service welcomes you all. If you feel that we have the quality, we have the genuine content with us for you to clear this examination. So we do not go for any large advertisement, let me tell you frankly. You can check our reviews in Google. You can check our comments in Google. And yes, if you want to join our demo classes, you're welcome to join our demo classes. In Guwahati, on 2nd of April, Sunday, we are going to give you a live session on how to prepare for the next APSC 2024 or the UPSC 2024. As we have faculty from different parts of India, we are going high level in our content. So one thing I can assure you, join us on 2nd April in Guwahati, Zoo Road. Please find our center in Google. You can type in Google Academy of Civil Service Guwahati. You can come to our center, join our seminar, and know the quality of our faculties. So now I will hand over the session to our next faculty, who will be discussing on other questions on the other subjects that we have in this module. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned with us. Thank you, everybody.
Good evening, students. I think all of you are analyzing your question paper and thinking about how will be your cutoff and what to do the next. When we have seen the questions, actually Team Academy of Civil Service, we are very happy because we always tell the students APSC is nowhere different from UPSC. But generally, aspirants are having a view APSC is a little bit easier. It can be cracked by hearting the things. But by seeing today's question paper, it's very clear to all of you, a very thorough and in-depth analysis is required for clearing APSC. That means the level of preparation required for APSC is nowhere different from UPSC. So let us look into the questions from history. Here you can see the first question. Consider the following statement about Vedic literature. Vedic literature, it is broadly divided into two parts, Shruti and Smriti literature. I think it's very familiar. All of you know the first statement is correct. But most of you will be getting confused in the second statement. Language used in 4 Vedas is classical Sanskrit. And the third statement, Ramayana, Mahabharata are 2 major important components of Vedic literature. Here, there is a high chance you may go up with the option D. Am I right? How many of you have gone with the option D? But see, if you have thoroughly studied the Vedic period, all of you know the Aryans, they have produced the 4 Vedas, which is written in Vedic Sanskrit. And if you have attended our crash course, in the second class of crash course, we have thoroughly analyzed the Vedic period. And here you can clearly see the Rig Veda, it is written in Vedic Sanskrit. And more than that, in UPSC, generally we go with the thorough analysis of each of the portions. And if you remember in our classes, we have shared a PPT, how the Indo-Aryans migrated and how the classic Sanskrit evolved from Vedic Sanskrit. So the language that you can see in 4 Vedas, that is Vedic Sanskrit. If you are well known with this fact, then see here, you can clearly eliminate option 2. That means you got the answer only 1. Now coming into the third statement, Ramayana and Mahabharata are 2 major important components of Vedic literature. Definitely, they are important components, but not more important than 4 Vedas. Because 4 Vedas, they are part of the Shruti literature, which is the primary authority. Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are part of the Smriti literature, which is the secondary authority. So 4 Vedas, they are the major important component of the Vedic literature. Now, coming into the second question, For which of the following items Alauddin Khalji sought to fix the cost? If you have analyzed APSC previous year question, APSC focus on Alauddin Khalji, his reforms, military campaigns, then market reforms. This question, we don't specifically remember which all are the items or which all are the items that is controlled by Alauddin Khalji. But still, if you have gone through our APSC medieval India material, here I will show you. If you are looking into the market reforms of Alauddin Khalji, here you can see the market reforms and the 4 separate markets that were established by Alauddin Khalji. If you are generally looking into the nature of the material, they are like the commodities that is used by the common people on a day-to-day basis. For example, dried fruits, butter, oil, sugar. Then if you are coming into the options of APSC, we can definitely see from the material sugarcane, then grain, 1 and 3 is definitely there. But see, diamond, do you think the diamond is a kind of common public commodity that is used by the people on a day-to-day basis? No, right? With that logic also, you can eliminate option A, you can eliminate option B, you can eliminate option D, then you get the answer 1, 3, and 4. See, this elimination technique, most of the time when we take the classes, we usually analyze the UPSC previous year questions. And if you have got that training and logic into your mind, it will come in the exam hall. Because it's not humanly possible to remember all the items that were sold in the market. In these kind of questions, we have to use our common sense and the logic. Now coming into the next question. The verses of which of the following saints are found in Adi Granth of the Sikhs? This question, it is from the chapter Bhakti and Sufism. And I'm not saying it's a very easy question, but still, if you have revised the material multiple times, all the Bhakti signs, Sufi signs, generally students found this chapter very difficult. Am I right? Because there are a lot of signs that you have to remember. Now let us look into APSC medieval India material. If you are looking, Baba Farid we have covered, and you can see this poet. His outlook was so broad and human, and his verses are found in Adi Granth of the Sikhs. And see, APSC, previous year APSC had asked question regarding who had executed Guru Arjan Dev, who had compiled the Sikh scripture, that is Adi Granth. Jahangir had executed. So the same kind of question in the Adi Granth, whose verse you can see the verses of Baba Farid, who is very famous in Indian state of Punjab. Now, coming into the next question. It's very easy question. 23rd January, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's birthday is celebrated in India as Parakram Divas. And fortunately, on 23rd January, I was taking the crash course of history in our academy from Guwahati. So on 23rd January, since I am a fan of Subhash Chandra Bose, like most of the people, I have included this question in our class. The starting question was this. If you have attended the classes, I think you may be remembering. Parakram Divas is celebrated on January 23rd to mark the birthday of Subhash Chandra Bose. And see this PPT, January 23, it was the 126th birthday of Netaji. This question, it's easily crackable for any serious aspirant. Now coming into the next question, Bhaskarabda, which has been added to the official calendar of the government of Assam, it is counted from. It's not a question from Indian history or Indian ancient history. But still, Bhaskarabdra, it was in current affair in the last year. So he was a contemporary of Harshavardhana, which we are studying in the chapter post-Gupta period in Indian ancient history. And in Indian history, we are studying regarding different eras. How many of you remember? Chandragupta once ascension era, it is considered as the Gupta era. Then we are studying regarding Shaka era. The ascension of the Kanishka is considered as the Shaka era. Generally, whenever king comes into power, that is considered as starting of an era. So if you are coming with that logic, if you are going with that logic also, you can assume date of ascension of Bhaskaravarman, it's related with Bhaskarabda. When we were discussing regarding Shaka era in the last year UPSC class, we have included the current affair in the class itself. So if you have noticed that, then I hope you must have got the answer. Now, coming into the last question, which statement regarding periplus of Erythraean Sea are true? See, here we have to study from a common perspective. Every question is not answerable. Am I right? Even though periplus of Erythraean Sea, it is mentioned somewhere in our classes. It's not like we have gone very deep into the topic. And when you see such question, what you have to do? Don't spend too much time on this question. Simply skip the question. Some questions are to be skipped. It's not like you have to attempt all the 100 questions. Am I right? I would say it was one of the toughest questions from history. Now, all of you are in the tension of cutoff, whether you will pass the exam, what strategy went right, what strategy went wrong. But I have to say, take 1 week break and gear up for the mains preparation. And here in the Academy of Civil Service, we are waiting to hold your hand for the mains preparation. And all of you focus again on all the UPSC previous year question from the mains paper, which will be rewarding. Thank you. I am ending and I am handing over the session to the next faculty. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope everything was fine with you all, right? And I won't take much time. Without taking much time, I would like to take up with the questions from ecology, environment, and few questions from Assam history. As you can see, the very easy question, I'm specifically focusing on set C. And by looking at the question itself, it's very familiar, I guess. The Cartagena Protocol, you can see direct from our material. You can see the reference as well. The source is ACS material, page number 2204, the thickest material, geography, environment, and science material, if you remember. And if you remember the point, I also mentioned of preparation of a chart because many students used to ask me, ma'am, how to remember these things. I told you, simply keep in mind the keywords. We need to focus on certain keywords, right? Whenever it comes about Cartagena Protocol, it's related to the genetically modified or living modified organism. When it comes regarding Nagoya Protocol, it's related to the traditional knowledge, Vienna Convention, ozone layer. So in this way, if you can remember the keywords, automatically the question becomes very easy. The next. Sustainable developmental goals. I think with each and every batches, I have taken much time regarding the sustainable developmental goals, sometimes telling you regarding stories, the Taliban and all. I don't know how many of you remember those who have attended the class. Sustainable developmental goals. How many goals are there? There are 17 goals. Again, from our material, it's directly being asked, page number 202. You can see all the 17 sustainable goals. I have mentioned it very clearly. Next question is from science. Zoonosis. Why this is in the question? This is because of zoonotic disease. You all are aware of the monkeypox. Multiple times with respect to monkeypox, I have mentioned the term zoonotic. Zoonotic, what does zoonotic means? Zoo means animal. Any disease which is spreading from animals to human beings, that ultimately is the zoonotic disease, also called as zoonosis. In this way, we have many examples: Nipah virus, coronavirus, including this monkeypox. So many diseases are there related to zoonosis. So obviously you can expect a question related to disease health. I have told you like that. Then the next thing, one of the very expected questions, but I don't know how many of you have done it correctly. That's one point, right? Champions of the Earth Award. We have discussed about Champions of the Earth Award in our classes regarding Dr. Purnima Devi Varman. She has won the Champions of the Earth Award. If some of you have done it as Aranyak, that will be difficult, right? That's gonna lose your mark. Obviously, Purnima Devi Varman for Hargila Army, we have clearly mentioned. Along with her, another person you can see, another person, Cecily Bibian. He was also awarded with the Champions of the Earth Award. Similarly, another very important thing. This is, of course, something I don't know how many of you have done it correctly, but yeah, this is a match the following. And this time the match the following questions are very interesting. Tulsi. Why do you take Tulsi? If you remember, your parents, your mother especially, your mother has given you Tulsi during what? During any kind of cough and cold. So automatically something related to the cough and cold, the organ related to the cough cold is the lungs, bronchitis. So automatically you can match B with 3. But if you eliminate with that, you will get 2 options. Next comes Ashwagandha, automatically with stress and anxiety. Then Sarpagandha is related to the high blood pressure. Honestly speaking, I was not so aware regarding Bhatoful, which can treat glaucoma, but these 3 options can give us answer. This question has been focused because recently there was the World Ayurveda Congress in Goa. If you remember, Ayurveda, Ministry of Ayush. Nowadays, Ayurveda has been focused a lot. I keep on telling you multiple times, this government has focused a lot on Ayush. So this is the reason for which as well, this topic should also be focused in mains perspective as well. Next, another very, very easy question, undoubtedly one of the most easiest question. International convention related to the transboundary movement of hazardous waste and their disposal. Undoubtedly you can get the answer. Page number 207, you can see Basel Convention, Rotterdam Convention. I asked you to prepare a chart along with the keywords. Minamata, Basel, Rotterdam, Stockholm, everything. Stockholm on POPs, Basel on the transboundary movement of hazardous waste, Rotterdam related to the trading of the hazardous chemicals, Minamata, everyone knows it's related to mercury. So automatically this answer, we can get it. Next, this is related to the current affairs, Netra. We have discussed about Netra. It's related to the tracking of the space debris, isn't it? In class, we have clearly discussed about Project Netra, but this is a current affair of 2022 in the month of February or January, I think. Yeah, related ISRO starting the Project Netra in Guwahati, and the correct answer is Chandrapur. So you can see the importance of current affairs. It was there in Sentinel. So in this way, you need to keep on updating yourself with each and every important things that are coming up. Similarly, interesting question. Nuclear program, consider the following statements. Honestly speaking, I have never mentioned about any program related to Aditya with respect to nuclear program. Aditya, I have mentioned about Aditya L1, which is related to a solar mission space. Yes, I hope you agree with this fact. But this question, with a very easy trick, you can get it. You can see Aditya is the name of India's indigenously developed tokamak. This is true. You can guess it. Aditya, the word Aditya itself means sun, anything that is related to the sun. But here it's clearly mentioned that it's a nuclear program. So obviously these kind of names, Aditya and all this Sanskrit terms, obviously this will be given to India's indigenous program. Now, when the keyword tokamak is there, we have referred with respect to tokamak, if you remember, China's artificial sun, if you remember about ITER, if you remember about jet, all these things we have clearly discussed in our class that all these are related to what? Tokamak, that means what? It's related to nuclear fusion. And there is another way by which you can get the answer. In sun, what is the reaction that takes place? Is it nuclear fission? No. Hydrogen atoms combine together to form the helium. So automatically fusion, and in this way you can get the answer C. Just simply with logic, with proper analysis, with proper logical mindset, you can get into this answer. Then next, International Year of Millets, a very expected question. Every one of us know that 2023 has been declared as International Year of Millets. Everyone is speaking. Another very important point that is, I'm sure every one of you know, that India had given this proposal in UNGA for making this, for celebrating this, or for observing this year as International Day of Millets. So statement 3 is also true. You cannot find statement 3 in any one of the option except D. So automatically option D becomes correct with simple, logical part. Next, direct from our material, I can show you page number 306, ACS material. You can see total internal reflection, optical fiber, mirage. Under optical fiber, I have mentioned about internet connection. That is the phenomenon of TIR, total internal reflection. So you see, optical fiber communication is based on the principle of refraction of light. No. Obviously, it's based on the TIR, total internal reflection. So for understanding TIR, obviously we need to understand refraction. If you can understand refraction, TIR becomes easy. So this is true. And optic itself means what? Light. So light is the carrier of wave. Automatically, this is wrong. Automatically 2 and 3 becomes the correct answer, right? Automatically 2 and 3 becomes the correct answer. Then this was again a part of current affair, World Rhino Day, the theme of 2022, 5 rhino species for April. Current affair, we need to keep on updating ourselves. Next, another point which is directly, I keep on mentioning you guys to focus on the Ramsar site, 75 Ramsar site. UPSC also focuses on Ramsar site. APSC also has focused on Ramsar site. And recently, if you remember, when our 75 Ramsar sites were updated, a new Ramsar site was also included in Northeast. There was a question, those who have appeared our test series, they might have got one question, how many Ramsar sites are there in Northeast? The answer was 4. So what are the Ramsar sites in Northeast? Rudrasagar, Loktak, Diporbil, Pala wetlands. And every one of us know Assam has only one Ramsar site, that is undoubtedly the Diporbil. By default, 3 becomes correct. If 3 becomes correct, you can eliminate B and D. And Loktak Lake, we have discussed multiple times, the floating water lake, which national park? Cable Lamjao National Park, automatically Loktak Lake of Manipur, the Sangai festival. With multiple aspects we have discussed these points, isn't it? So automatically you can see 2 and 3 becomes correct. Where is Pala wetlands? Pala wetlands are in Mizoram. Right? So these were all the questions with respect to ecology science. Now coming up from Assam history. This is with respect to Assam history. You can get it directly from our ACS material. Invasion of Bakhtiyar Khilji. You can remember Bakhtiyar Khilji during the reign of Prithu. Yes, in 1200 something. I don't exactly remember the date. During the reign of Prithu. This is obviously, this will come first. Then invasion of Turbak in 1532. Turbak, isn't it? Turbak, everyone, you can get about Turbak, invasion of Turbak properly in our ACS material. Then you can see invasion of Mirzumla. When Mirzumla in 1662? Yes, because in 1671, Horaighator Ron Hosile nai. Horaighator Ron Hosile. Then you can see Sikandar Shah 1362. So automatically you can get the chronology. This is from ancient Assam. This is from ancient Assam. By default, one will come in the first. By default, one comes in the first. Then you can see 1362. Then you can see 1562. And then finally invasion of Mirzumla. So in this way, from our material itself, you can get the correct answer. Another very interesting and very easy question from Assam history. From our material itself, you can get the answer directly. Ketia hoisile? Phuloguri, Pothorughat, Rongya. Phuloguri? Right. Then Pothorughat in 94. So in this way, Rongya also during the same time. So one point, obviously, Phuloguri uprising was after Rongya uprising. Rongya uprising started in around 93 itself. From December 93, it went to 94. So in this way, you can get the correct answer 2, 3, and 1, right? And then this is another question from Assam history. I am a minister and hence I cannot become the king. Kune koisile? Oton Buraguhai koisile. Oton Buraguhai hokolwe jane, bahut powerful asile. He koise what he has told. I am the minister and hence I cannot become the king. My minister karne ma king hobo nwaru. The primary or absolutely indispensable qualification of kingship was possession of blue blood. Blue blood mane ki? Blue blood means royal blood. So Oton Borgohain, he was not from, he was not apart from the princely, Prince Bahe teo Raja Khandanor teo nasile. Teo ejon minister asile. Teo koisile je jehetu teo ejon minister podor manu hoy. Hei karone teo jehetu ke hei royal, hei Raja hoar teo hei karone teo joggota orjon kora nai. Qualification teo orjon kora nai. So obviously both are correct and B is the correct explanation of, right? And then you can see another easy question. Directly you can get it from our material itself. The post of Borbora or Borfukon, Cardinal Hisle, Pratap Hinghordinot Hisle, Hanai, Pratap Hinghordinot. So 1600 something of Pratap Hinghor did not Borbora or Borfukon or post Hisle. Into 1600 something so the year high. If the year is 1600 something, then the century will be, is it 16th century? Now we are in 2023. So what is the century? 21st century. Then I had Pratap Hinghor in 1600 something also the century to ki hobo. 17th century. Eliminate option 1. Option 1, if you eliminate, you can automatically get the correct answer. Baki khini second nubuza leo hobo. Decentralization of power. Tarbisat ki. Baki khini automatically you can get the correct answer. Tarbisat, you have this. Which of the following Puranas contains references to ancient Assam? Here, all the 4 options will be correct. Markandeya, Skanda, Naradiya, Vishnu. So if you have gone through some part in a thorough manner, you might have got this answer correctly. Next, another very interesting question. Yate gutegeta nazanile hobo ACS material duta point asle duta point. If you take it from our material 2 points, with the help of these 2 points, you can get the answer. If I say personally, Nidhanpur boli kole automatically Bhaskar Bormanor kotha monot pore. Similarly, Hayonthal kole ki hoy Hojara Borman. Hojara Borman ase kintu Borman dynasty nohoy. He is from Salastambha dynasty. So if you go through our material in Varman dynasty, Nidhanpur plates, Dubi plates, then you will get it. Similarly, Hayunthal, Hajara Varman, Ketia Salastambha dynasty pisat. Hekini tar pisat Pala dynasty ahile. Hoy nai. So B1, C3. You can C4. You can directly go to the answer B1, C4, and nowhere you will find the appropriate matching. Automatic answer. Next. One of the most easiest question from Assam history. Treaty of Yandabo Hokule Zane between East India Company and the Burmese, right? Treaty of Yandabu ketia hoisile? Yandabur Sandhi 1826. Orunodoy ketia hoisile? Orunodoy 1846. Hokule Zane Junaki published ketia hoisile? Orunodoy published ketia hoisile? Every one of us know, right? Establishment of Assam Medical College. Kota se Assam Medical College? Dibrugarh Assam Medical College ki 2005 hoisile ni? Nai ho. Assam Medical College is the first medical college of our state. in 1947. It was not in 2005. In this way, you can get the option easily. So you can get A2, B1, then C4, D3, right? Then another most easy question. Our material direct 229 page number of Gole, you can get it. Mahendra Varman was the founder of Varman dynasty. Hoy jano Pushya Varman he asile, Mahendra Varman to nasile. Tar pisat Pushya Varman performed 2-horse sacrifice ritual, Ashwamedha Yagya. Kune korisle? Eya korisle Mahendra Varman. So these two things have been, crisscrossed. Mahendra Varman Ashwamedha Yagya korisle. Pushya Varman was the founder of the dynasty. Duitai incorrect. আৰু সকলোৱে জানে হিউৱেন সাং কেতিয়া আহিছিলে ভাস্কৰ বৰ্মনৰ দিনত আহিছিলে ভাস্কৰ বৰ্মনে হিউৱেন সাং নালন্দা ইউনিভাৰ্সিটিৰ তেখেতক সেই সময়ত কোন আছিলে জি হোক মই এটা নামটো পাহৰিলো so ultimately by requesting him কৰিও হয় so ultimately in this way হিউৱেন সাং finally june nalanda university visit কৰিছিলে he came during the reign of bhaskar barman right so only 3 is correct next expected Nilomani Fukonn hoine Nilomani Fukonn was honored with the Gyanpith award in 2021 in 2021 for 2020 this is something which you need to remember after every 21 years Assam has got Gyanpith award হয়নে ইয়াৰ আগত জ্ঞানপীঠ এৱাৰ্ড পাইছিলে ডক্টৰ মামনি ৰয়ছম গোস্বামী 21 বছৰ আগত আকৌ তাৰো 21 বছৰ আগতে কোনে পাইছিলে প্ৰথম জ্ঞানপীঠ এৱাৰ্ডি so this is another trick after every 21 years Assam is getting a জ্ঞানপীঠ award an expected question যেহেতুকে তেওঁ জ্ঞানপীঠ এৱাৰ্ডো পালে তেওঁ ঢুকালেও right সেইকাৰণে obviously ভূপেন হাজৰিকা লক্ষ্মীনাথ বেজবৰুৱা নীলমণি ফুকন এওঁলোক we had to go in depth regarding this famous personalities হয় নাই So his first anthology, hokole jodi pohise, pohato expect korisu, Surjo heno nami ahe nodi edi. It's true. He was first awarded Sahitya Academy Award for the anthology Kobita. Teo khub besi likha nai. Okonman Wikipedia sale, egata point e asile direct. He was the president of Assam Sahitya Sabha in 2015. No, Dhrubajyoti Bora asile he samoy. Hane? So statement 4 is incorrect and 1, 2, and 3. Then this is another part from current affair. Padma Shri Award. Nippon Goswami bahire euluk hokolwe paise this is another current affair next this is another very interesting and very easy question it is related to the Assam budget amar homor budget ebaro budget nohoy tar agor bosor 2021 Assam budget 2021-2022 budget 6 university uplift korar karone some initiatives were taken. Bhattadev University Bozali College of upgrade kori Bhattadev University kora hoisile. So automatically Bozali College Bozali mane ki Bozali agote Pathshala mane Borpetar logot related asile Bhattadev University Pathshala. Tar pisot if you see Rabindranath Tagore University hojai. Thik heitore Aniruddha Dev Sports University teneke keba kono 6 খন আপনি হেই কৰা হৈছিলে so if you get only these two options the rest of the options will become easy for you these two are enough to find the answer you can see A3 B1 C2 D4 right that's the correct answer Bhaskar Abdo itimodhe Ishala ma'am she has already explained you I am not going into that part Bhaskar Abdo Bhaskar Barmanor logot related next expected from ACS material this was taken hane merge kori pelai ekebare hekhor dina khon ekdom new year or agote cabinet ekhon hei kori pelai amar CMA mamai ekdom dhamaka ada di disle hane Bishwanath kar logot Honitpuror logot merge korisile hojai agoteo Nogao asile majote hojai district banaisile to hojai ko Nogao logot merge korile tar pisot Tamulpur Baksa Bozali kar logot Bozali Bhattadev University Bozali College kod hobo Borpeta, right? Not in Bongaigaon, Bozali in Borpeta. So 3 is incorrect and you need to find the incorrect options. Option B, only 3 is incorrect. So I hope whatever are the things, these things were easy and you have done it in a great way. Now it's time for your loves and the most exciting part, that's the polity. And thank you very much. All the best.
Hello, everyone. I hope you have done the exam very well. And you have followed these Indian polity questions. There were around 15 to 16 questions from Indian polity. And when you have analyzed the polity pattern of the question, we can see that it is up to the UPSC level. Now, earlier when the questions were regarding the articles, the fact, like those kind of questions, now we can never see in these patterns. Now, the conceptual understanding of Indian polity is more important, and our questions are also like that. So in this session, I will explain you this question and I will give you the answer. Along with that, I also want to explain what we have covered in our classes. The first question was with reference to the basic module of DPSP and the fundamental rights. Here they were asking a not correct answer. Which of the following is not part of DPSP? And in our session also we have discussed that whenever any questions which comes that they are asking if it is not correct is asking, then we have to write big letter in the side, not correct, otherwise we will forget. So here it is, which one of the following is not part of a DPSP? And even if you do not know anything about DPSP, you know fundamental rights. And only one option here, which is directly mentioned a keyword rights. That is right of minority to establish and administer educational institution. By the keyword, the right is a fundamental rights. So that is not coming under the policy directive given to the states. So the correct answer to this question was also answer C. In this way also you can solve such like particular kind of a questions if that comes in the future as well. And I'm sharing you this slide which we have covered in the fundamental rights under Article 30 that deals with right of minorities. Then in DPSP, we have covered detailed analysis of the socialist principle, Gandhian principle, liberal intellectual principle, which include uniform civil code law, organizing, agriculture and husbandry, international peace and security, etc. are part of DPSP. Coming to the next question, this particular question was related to current affairs. In our classes, we didn't cover detail regarding NSA and the MISA, UAPA, FEMA, but these particular act were discussed in the news, and we have covered in the classes regarding the basic concept what is meant by preventive detention. Preventive detention we have covered in our classes explanation to the fundamental rights article 222. In this session we have covered two types of detention. One is the punitive detention and another one is preventive detention. Preventive detention means before you committed any particular offense, you are arrested, you are detained by the police. Because you are a person, there is a chance in the future you may commit certain crimes. So before you commit such crimes, in order to prevent such committing any offenses in the future, you are detained. That is meant by preventive detention. This preventive detention, which is already covered under the law like the Preventive Detention Act 1950, which was expired in 1969. Later, the Maintenance of Internal Security Act was also introduced in 1971. That is also repealed in 1978. But currently, NSA, UAPA, FEMA, etc. These laws, now preventive detention is like which is already available. But here, the question was asking about not in force in India. And only one option is not in force, that is MISA, which is currently repealed, that is Maintenance of Internal Security Act, which was repealed. Then only one will be, that is only two will be correct answer. So the answer will be D for particular this question. Next question is we have discussed. Now question number 3 from Indian polity. So I'm taking only the series C. In series 3, this question is number 6, where it is regarding the federalism, basic concept of federalism. And in our sessions, we have explained the basic concept of the federalism in India, which we can see both the federal feature and we can see both unitary feature. And what are federal feature, what are unitary feature, we have covered within an illustration manner. For example, federalist feature, federalism, which also mean by the share of the power between two or more levels of the government. And there is, of course, there is a representation of the states. So union government and the state is also coming in a federal form of government where there is a division of the power is one feature. The first and foremost feature that we can remember is the division of the power between the union state government that we can see in the 7th schedule of Indian Constitution. Then representation of the states. Yes, we are following bicameralism. Bicameralism in India, in case of parliament, you can see Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha particularly protecting the interest of the state, where it represents the states. So 1 and 3 is also part of the federalism in India. Then independent judiciary, that is also part of the federal feature, but only one will be not a part of federal feature in India, that is federal judiciary. We do not have a separate judiciary for the union government. We have only integrated judiciary, which is Supreme Court is the apex court, which is common for union and the state. And Supreme Court is also the highest appeal the court. So federal judiciary, which is not a part of Indian federalism, which we can see in the US federal form of government. So that is the only answer. That is only 4. It is not a part of Indian federalism. Here also the question was regarding not found in Indian Constitution. That is only 4. So the answer will be D. Now, next question we can take. Question number 4 from Indian polity, which was the 7th question in order of the series C, which was regarding the fundamental right to equality. And recently there was many articles related to OBC reservation, and particularly the provision in Article 16 that deal with the equal opportunity in matters of public employments. And in Article 16.4 was an exception which is given reservation appointment for the post in favor of backward classes. So here Article 16.4 D is the correct answer directly from the facts, and these facts we have covered in our classes, and you can see the class PPT that we have used in the sessions. Article 16.4. Now coming to the writs anyway, in every year in UPSC also the questions are coming, particularly in APSC also this year questions are asked from the module writs. The types of the writs we have studied, like there is quo warranto is also part of it, mandamus is also part of it, certiorari, prohibition, habeas corpus. These 5 writs we have studied in an illustration manner. Certiorari, among these writs, only 2 writs which are mainly issued by the higher court to the lower court. Only 2 kind of writs which is issued by a higher court to the inferior court or lower court. So then we can eliminate the mandamus which is issued to the public offices. Then quo warranto is also not to the by the higher court to the inferior court. Only 2 we can see, that is C and D. Among these C and D, here you can see the proper consideration of the matter. For that, please transfer that matter to the higher authority, higher court. So here the court is trying to correct the mistake done by the inferior courts. So here it is proper consideration resulting into curative and preventive as well as curative. Curative, the keyword we have discussed in the class, which is certiorari. So the answer here will be C is the correct answer. And in the session, we have explained in a clear manner with illustration what is meant by certiorari. And we have given the revision that it is a lower court, a tribunal, which is either transfer a case which is pending letter to this itself or to squash an order later in case. So it is both the preventive and the curative. Then another kind of question which is also based on the concepts. Judicial review is multiple times discussed in the news. Even though this was asked in this particular year in Indian polity, they were asking about, according to Constitution, judicial review is based on which of the following principle. Among these principles provided here rule of law, procedure established by law, then President and Convention. Generally speaking, according to Constitution of India, we are following the procedure established by law, which we have borrowed from the Japanese Constitution. And in our session, we have explained what is meant by procedure established by law, what we mean by due process of law. In India, we follow procedure established by law. According to a procedure, only the law will be established. And in our judicial review also, according to Constitution, the main principle that we follow is the procedure established by law. Only 2 is the correct answer according to APSC answer key. Also, B is the correct answer. Only 2 is the correct answer. Procedure established by law. Moving on to the next question, which is asked by the APSC this year. That is with reference to the Article 3. Even in our session related to union and territory, I always mention that among the Article 1 to 4 that deal with union territory, Article 3 is most important article. The correct answer was only the two, that is answer B is a correct answer. In even sessions that we have illustrated that any bill that is going to change the existing state, so only the parliament has the authority to change the structure, that is the altering the boundaries, creating new state, etc. Only the parliament has the power. But if any bill is introduced in the parliament, it requires a prior recommendation. The president is required. And before the president recommend this to the parliament, President of India will seek a opinion of the state legislature. So referring that expression of this view of the state legislative assembly, even though the expression may be referred by the state assembly, that is not bound to the president. So these content we have studied, and along that we have practiced the question, the same statement which are asked in the APSC also we have used it in our test series and in our model questions in the session. The correct answer was, that is answer is option B, one only. So the president is not bound. So president is not bound to accept the opinion. That is a basic that we need to keep. Only two, that is here, not is asking, two only is the wrong statement. So we have to choose the correct answer, option B, that is a wrong statement. Moving on to the next question. Coming to the next question, which is with reference to the fundamental rights. When we have studied fundamental rights, you know that some of the fundamental rights are only available to citizens, and some other fundamental rights are available to any person. That means even a foreigner. And if any particular rights, which is not particular to located in India, if it is a global phenomena or universal phenomena, or if it is a human rights, then those rights will be available to any person. Right to equal opportunity in matter of public employment, and the Article 19, there are 6 rights are covered under right to freedom under Article 19. These two fundamental rights, which are only available to citizens. But in case of Article 14, equality before law and equal protection of the law, these two concepts is the equality before law, which is available for any person. Even religion is not particularly to India. It is a universal phenomenon. It is also available to any person. So the answer will be option B, only 1 and 4 is the correct. So here I am showing you the PPT that we are used. Here also you can see that I have mentioned that this particular right is available to any person. Then Article 15, Article 16, you can see that specifically we have mentioned citizen only, citizen only. So these rights are available only to the citizens. Then Article 19 also only to the citizen and among the shareholders of the companies. So Article 19 is also generally speaking available to citizens. So these kind of a way we have taken in the sessions, and it will be helpful for you to, like we have explained this concept in an illustration manner, which are available to citizen, are not available to foreigner. You can see in this illustration also Article 15, Article 16, Article 19 are examples of which is only available to citizen. Next question with a reference to the ordinance making power of the government. And particularly office of the governor, the power of the governor was a current affair recently. And here question again, which is not correct. Here it is also asking about which of the following is not correct in the option. You know that the basic concept of the ordinance. Ordinance are the temporary law, which the president can also make or the governor can also make. The main basic or the basic knowledge is regarding the ordinance making power is when the parliament is not in session. Either one house, that is only one house is there, another house is not in session. Or both houses are not in session. That is the recession of the parliament. During this period, President of India can make ordinance under Article 123. Then according to Article 213, the same power is available to the governor in case of state legislature, where the state legislative assembly is not in session. And as per the aid and advice given by the Council of Ministers headed by the Chief Minister, the governor can promulgate ordinance during the recession of legislature. With that basic knowledge, you will get the first statement, that is here, the statement 1, that is option A, mentioned that when they are in session, the governor may make the ordinance. That is wrong. When they are not in session, during recession of the legislature, then only the governor may promulgate the ordinance. And this is not a discretionary power, because the ordinance making power is not a discretionary, because it can only be done by an aid and advice given by the cabinet or the union minister, that is ministers, council of ministers headed by the chief minister in the state legislature. So the answer will be option A. That is wrong. Moving to the next questions. That is with reference to the Assam polity. Here, the fact question was asked, who among the following was the first Assamese to contest the presidential election in 1952? Anniversaries are important. Here, 1952, it was a current affair. If you take 2022, we also prepared certain content from 2022. So any event that was in the 2022 as anniversary, so question can be expected. That may be the reason this year they have asked this particular question. But this particular content that we have never covered in our Assam polity classes or a current affair class, so the answer was also Nakendra Nath Das. This content we didn't provide it to the students in the sessions. One more Assam polity question was there, which is reference to the head of the government, leader of the House in the Legislative Assembly of the Assam province during British period. And here the answer is Prime Minister. But currently the head of the government, the leader of Legislative Assembly of the Assam is currently will be Chief Minister. But before, when we got independent during British period, it was known as the Prime Minister. That is why the answer B is correct. Next question with reference to office of Vice President of India. It was a current affair. Recently, the election was held into the office of Vice President. And we know that the current Vice President is Jagadish Dhankar. When Jagadish Dhankar became the Vice President of India, before he was appointed to the office of Vice President, he was the former governor of West Bengal. By knowing the fact that you know that he was the governor of the West Bengal, he was not a member of Rajya Sabha. So even with that knowledge of the current affair, you can easily eliminate a person must be member of Rajya Sabha is not necessary qualification to become a Vice President of India or to be appointed as a Vice President of India in India. So the option here, the correct answer will be 1 and 3. That is 2 is anywhere wrong. So you can see here 2. You can see also 2 here. So when you eliminate 2, only 1 will be remaining. That is B. Anyway, public office are only available to citizens. So that is 1 is a necessary qualification. That age multiple times we have discussed in the session. That is 35 years is a minimum age for President, Vice President, Governor. The qualification of the executive officers of the President we have covered. Then the Vice President also we have covered. The Governor also we have covered in detail in our sessions. Next question with reference to basic concept of the rule of law. Here the question is so tricky. They're asking about the core feature of the rule of law, not entire feature of the rule of law, but they are asking regarding the core feature of the rule of law. The basic concept rule of law means according to the law only the government can. That is the basic meaning by rule of law. And India we follow rule of law. Earlier when during British period they were ruled India by the principle of rule by law. Rule by law means whatever the way they are ruling, that will become law. That is unlimited power. But here we have a law. So this particular law, which is limiting the power of the government. So the main principle or the key core feature of the rule of law is that there is a law. That law is limiting the power. So when the law is limiting the power, the people living in this territory, we can enjoy our human right, the civic right, liberty, etc. We can enjoy. So we can assume that the basic core feature of the rule of law are 2 only here. That is limitation of the power and liberty and civil rights. So according to APSC answer key also, option B was the correct answer. Only 1 and 3rd statements are correct. Supremacy of the law, equality before law are coming under the rule of law, but not directly the core feature of rule of law. This concept we have explained in our sessions. Then another question with reference to Rajya Sabha. So the equal power between Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, more power enjoyed by the Lok Sabha, less power with the Rajya Sabha, etc. These are the major points that we need to study in Indian polity for conceptual understanding. Here, they're asking regarding the money bill and particularly, and what are the power enjoyed by the Rajya Sabha, particularly regarding the money bill or a financial bill. We know that money bill, in case of money bill, Rajya Sabha does not enjoy any particular power regarding the rejecting that bill or amending the money bill. They can only recommend anything that is required money bill. Even if it is recommended, Lok Sabha can reject it also. So Lok Sabha enjoy more power with reference to money bill, and Speaker of the Lok Sabha can decide whether that bill is money bill or not. So because of that, only Lok Sabha can vote. So demand for grants, that's also part of the budget. Budget itself is a money bill. So Rajya Sabha cannot vote. Then Rajya Sabha cannot discuss. Here, this particular statement is wrong. Rajya Sabha can discuss parliaments if it is related to annual financial statement budgets. The Rajya Sabha also participate in the discussion, but they cannot vote on the demand of the grant because they are money bill. Rajya Sabha cannot vote. So cannot discuss is the statement which is wrong. Statement 1 is correct. Statement 2 is also correct. If any question arises regarding whether bill, money bill or not, the chairperson Rajya Sabha, they shall not be fined. Yes, these does not have any that power regarding decision of the money bill. Finally, speaker can only decide. So that statement can also correct. 1, 2, and 4. That is coming in the option C is a correct answer. Option C is a correct answer. 3 anyway wrong. So if 3 is wrong, also you can eliminate B. Only this will be remaining. So 1 and 4 anyway correct. Because both options there is 2. Then we only need to check the 2 is correct. So the answer will be C. Answer will be C. The reference to this. In case of this, we also covered in the classes in a detailed way regarding the money bill. I'm showing you the table, ordinary bill, money bill, different between that. Then we have covered the budget in our sessions. What is mean by budget? Budget itself is a money bill. The power enjoyed by the speaker and which is not available to chairperson, Rajya Sabha, etc. The things we have covered. Next one, regarding the chronological order of the conduct of the recognition of human rights. Why this question was asked in this 2023? Due to Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was like adopted in 1948, December 10. And December 10, we celebrate the International Human Rights Day. So because of that context, human rights, which are more important this year. That is the APSC already asked the question regarding that. Magna Carta, when we have covered the fundamental rights, the fundamental right is also known as Magna Carta of India. So Magna Carta was a document which is like, it was around 1215 during the British, like English, like their country, the king of the English, they introduced Magna Carta. Here, they have like ensured that equality before law, nobody is above the law, and civil rights are guaranteed. That is, even if we are also part of the monarchical system, king is also like available to, the king power is also limited to the extent of the human rights, because the king cannot take away the right of the human, which was guaranteed by the documents Magna Carta. That way, the fundamental right is also known as Magna Carta. So that is 1215. French Revolution, anyway, you know that it was also before even the independent period, around like 18th century period, French Revolution. Then after the 1948 Universal Declaration, then it comes adoption of International Convention on Civil Political Rights. And we have already taken in, especially in Guwahati, we have conducted a separate session on the human right, UDHR, and this ICCPR also we have taken. The correct answer will be option B, 1, 2, 3, 4. This chronological order. In fundamental, when we have covered class on the fundamental rights, UDHR also we have covered fundamental rights. What is meant by the classification right, legal rights, constitutional rights, fundamental rights, human rights also we have covered in a detailed way in our sessions. Next one is the Prime Minister. The most important event happened in their tenure. And as we have analyzed the previous year APSC question, we have understood that every year they're asking such a kind of a question which were an event of the Prime Minister. That is, this particular event was happened during the whose Prime Ministership and who was the Prime Minister during this particular event was happened. Because of that, in our Assam material, Assam polity material, we have given a list of Prime Ministers of India and their major event happened in their period. By following that content, if anybody have followed that content, we know that Narasimha Rao government, during Lokesh Polity was an initiative during his tenure. Then Pokhran 2, it was during the A.B. Vajpayee. By knowing only this fact, also you will get the answer, that is C. C will be the correct answer by knowing only these facts. That is 1. That is 1 should be the 3. That is A should be 3. A should be 3. Only that is only 1 is coming. C is the answer. Then the A.B. Vajpayee Pokhran. Next question regarding the Indian Parliament membership in Indian Parliament, the qualifications. Here the qualification, mainly we need to focus the minimum age to be qualified for Lok Sabha member, minimum age to be qualified for Rajya Sabha member. We have discussed this particular point multiple times in this session, and we are also given the techniques to remember the age. Here, 25 for Lok Sabha is correct, but 35 is wrong. 35 is president, governor, and vice president, but 30 is for Rajya Sabha. So the statement 1 is wrong, and here the question is also asking the false statement, is also asking the wrong statement. So statement 1, which is wrong, because 35 not the correct answer. So a person belonging to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe can contest in general category. That is also correct. They can also contest in general category, even though they have a special reservation for SC and ST. They only, if any particular seat is reserved for SC and ST, they can only contest. But they can also contest in the general category seats. If a member of the parliament vote against the direction of this party, then he must be disqualified under ground of detention under 10th schedule. That is also correct. We have studied the ground of disqualification under 10th schedule, and we have provided the content in our classes in the study material. You can see that, and so that both 1 and 2 are correct, and only 1 is wrong. That's only the 2 and 3rd statement are correct statement. Only 1 is wrong. That is statement 1. So answer will be A. The next one is regarding the co-variant, again, types of writ. The second question from the module, writs. Writs we have covered in the fundamental. Here the correct answer is option D. Office, which is must be created by statute. That means either by the act of the parliament or by the constitution. Mainly co-variant we have illustrated. It is mainly a legality claim of a person in the public office. Mainly any public office that has been created by a statute of the parliament or by the constitution. You can see this content which we have provided in the class. Answer is option D is the correct answer. Next question, it was a current affair. And in current affair, July current affair, we have covered regarding aspirational district program. And you can see that an image is also attached to this PPT, Niti Aayog initiative. So, easy question. If anybody has followed this news regarding aspirational district program, it was launched by Niti Aayog. The last question that I want to discuss today is regarding the Operation Dose. Everybody may be aware about the recent earthquake happened in Syria and Turkey. And in this particular context, as a humanitarian initiative of India, in the operations of the rescue, we have sent our Operation Dose to assist this particular context of the earthquake happened in Syria and Turkey. So this particular point we have already mentioned in the sessions of the APSC classes and the UPSC sessions regarding this initiative, is operations. And along with that, we also have given a broader perspective of how to study this operation, which are discussed in the news, multiple contexts, even Operation Ganga during the Ukraine-Russia war, where the Indian students were trained. Like spraying in the Ukraine, so that we have rescued the Indian medical students in the Ukraine. Like this, many of these operations we have covered in the session. With that, I'm ending the sessions on the discussion on analysis of the APSC prelims. I hope by analyzing the entire question, you got the idea that the pattern of the APSC now is up to the UPSC level. In future, in APSC exam also, they will follow according to the UPSC pattern. So now, if you have qualified, if you are having the cutoff above, for example, if you are able to score in GS paper above 85 to 92 in general category, then there is a chance that you will qualify this particular APSC prelims exam if you qualify the CSAT also. So CSAT, I hope it was so manageable for you. It was not that much difficult as compared to the previous years. So that I hope that many of you can qualify this year prelims exam. If you believe that there's a chance that you can qualify this year prelims, then you start your preparation for the mains. And we are about to launch our mains course on April 3rd. And never wait or never delay, never take any decision to join delay or later. As soon as possible, you plan to join for the mains courses. As soon as possible, you start to prepare for the mains courses. You know that there is a GS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These papers are there, essay also there, ethics also there. Then these mains preparation, we need to practice answer writing, so that you have to start the preparation as early as possible, and you should get a guidance so that you will, and your answer writing can be improved. And everybody aware about the expected cutoff of 85 to 92. Imagine if you could not perform well in this particular APSC prelim, that's okay. So that it means that all of you cannot be performed well in this particular prelims exam. If you could not perform well in this prelims exam, never wait for another notification for next year. You have to start your preparation now onwards, and you have understood the pattern and you have understood the strategy. Like, you have to go in detail by understanding the concept. There is no shortcut just to remembering the fact and memorizing the fact. That will never help in the APSC prelims exam or even the mains exam. We need to understand each of these concepts, each of these modules and the syllabus accordingly. We need to prepare, and then only it will help us in qualifying this exam. So that you make a plan and you please like prepare and start the preparation for the mains. If you believe you can qualify these prelims, if not, please continue your effort for the next prelims. Everyone can clear this particular exam if you follow the right strategy and guidance. And ASS is there, and ASS will help you definitely. And we are here, and we are also happy to assist you. With that, I am ending this session. Thank you all for attending the sessions and watching the classes. Good night.